Trap. Esquire? No, you can't even put Esquire. I don't know. Cum trap seems good enough. Cum trap. There we go. Alright, this is a radio host talking. Tokyo's most eligible bachelor and CEO of Tachibana Liquor, Comstrap Tachibana, was featured on the cover of Trendin' magazine yesterday. I slapped the clock radio at my bedside, shutting it off. A gossip column about me. What a way to be greeted in the morning. I don't care much for standard alarms. They're annoying and useless. I prefer to stay on top of things. Get the news first thing in the morning. But this? I sighed, opening my eyes to let some light in. Light? Did I oversleep a little? Ooh, the CEO has been working on his six-pack, apparently. And apparently he also has a drinking problem. Cum trap, Tachibana. I laid half decent under the covers, rubbing my temples. I might have drank a little too much last night. A little too much you-know-what. Not alcohol. Tokyo's most eligible bachelor, huh? To be recognized for my looks and sex appeal rather than my biggest accomplishments. Of course I wasn't too happy about it, but our profits grew about 10% last quarter since marketing insisted I announce on being single. We gotta be single with a job like being a cum trap, right? Besides, Mother's been on about me giving her grandchildren and father. Why, I drink men's children every night. Isn't that enough for her? Well, I expect he wants me to produce an heir. When you're fast approaching the age of 30 like me, you'd likely make some attempts to put yourself out there. But what do I know about dating? I haven't been in a long-term relationship since high school. If you call holding hands and eating lunch together for 2 weeks a long-term relationship. I reached for my bedside table again, this time grabbing the copy of that magazine that Trendin' graciously sent me. Mentioning Camp Buddy will get you a timeout, oh my god. Yes, Camp Buddy free zone. You think I'm gonna go back to Camp Buddy? You think I'm gonna get that Taiga good ending? Oh girl, I want to, but it's just like, I don't want to have to go through all those sex scenes. I genuinely, that is what's keeping me from doing it. I don't want to go through like 5 different sex scenes or 6 or however many there are where Katero gets to be the top. Or yeah, Katero, yeah. Because he was bottom in the one I did, right? I think. I can't even remember. Fuck that game, oh my god. Tall, handsome, and oozing with masculine energy. Why, even his pores are leaking cum right out of him. Who wrote this? My eyes flit back up to the article's title, and there, just under the words "sexiest CEO," was the author's tag. So this is us on, this is Cumtrap on the cover. Did he model for this magazine? Did he agree to be put in here? I frowned a bit, not recognizing the name, but who cares really? At least I got some exposure. At least with this, maybe I wouldn't have to be so lonely anymore. He did this to get a date? Change that Camp Buddy profile pic? Oh my god. I continued reading the article. Even though I skimmed through it yesterday, I hadn't really given myself a chance to really read it. They're really selling the rich playboy image to women, aren't they? Of course they were. The magazine's target audience was women between the ages of 20 and 35. Hell, it was a fashion magazine. Me, Cumtrap Tachibana, CEO of Tachibana's Liquor, in a women's fashion magazine. The thought irritated me a bit. I wasn't even sure if you what, hon? My phone went off. I picked it up. Oh, yeah, he what was he gonna say? I'm not even sure if I'm straight, girl. We know. This is a BL game. Like we read that in the description. I picked it up immediately and set it to speaker, not bothering to read the caller ID. You got a boyfriend because of Camp Buddy? You know, if your boyfriend's into Camp Buddy and likes it, then I'm sorry. That's you don't want a man like that. This is Tachibana. I don't know what kind of voice to give this, but Oi, I'm already downstairs with the driver. You've got those interviews, remember? I recognized the voice. It was Daisuke, my personal bodyguard. Right, of course. The secretary position. Well, hurry up. It's not like you to wake up later than me. The secretary's gonna try and diddle us? You know, maybe. I let out a strained laugh. You're right. I'll be down in 5. My previous secretary. God help me. I can't even remember her name. Resigned 2 weeks ago. She was beautiful, sure, but she was also inefficient, slow, and always checking her social media. Worst of all, she had a coochie. I don't swing that way. I don't know how she got through the hiring process, but I insisted this time I'd take care of the process personally. HR, however, wouldn't let me screen the applicants myself. Why not? You're the CEO. Whatever, so we settled on this. Woman from HR? Good morning, Mr. Tachibana. The applicants are in your office. Just send one of them out while you conduct the other's interview. We'll take care of them. Bitch, don't tell me how to run my business. I'm the CEO. Who do you think you are? Trippin'. Of course, thank you. She handed me some folders. Is this it? 3 applicants? Yes, sir. We were surprised too. But there were really only 3 applicants. It made the screening process easy, but... Well, yeah, the screening process must have been easy. You screened them all through, bitch. Well, that's fine. The interview process shouldn't take long either. I can decide today. That's great, sir. We wish you and the applicants our best. And oh, there's something else. What is it? One of the applicants didn't show up, so there are only 2 in your office for the interview today. You're kidding. They're obviously out of the question. Which is fine. It'll be easier to narrow down with just 2 candidates. Wonderful. Good luck, sir. And if you'll excuse me, I have more work to do. She bowed and proceeded in the opposite direction as I headed down the corridor to my office. Also, you may notice these black bars across the screen. That's just the aspect resolution of this game. There's nothing I can do about it, and it bothers me intensely. I had some time to skim one of the profiles, so I took a peek at the top one. Kotaro Sode. Preferred name Ko? What's he putting his damn nickname on the fucking application? That's an interesting note. It's weird to be called by a preferred name in this setting. I wonder why. Usually I just call the men's cum I drink by their nicknames, but in the office, that's just strange. I stopped and looked around before I reached for the door. But more importantly, where'd Dai run off to? Probably went out for a smoke. Bitch, you just said nicknames were weird to use in an office setting. And then you're calling this guy by a nickname. Get it together. Probably went out for a smoke again. I'll smack him. You couldn't go one sentence without contradicting yourself. Shaking my head, I pushed the glass door to my corner office open. Sunlight already blinding me before I could even get a foot over the threshold. I should have at least anticipated that. How many years have I held this office again? Trans secretary? Wait, what? What are you saying? Who's trans? Let's get this done. I grumbled under my breath. Who is this? Sir, please allow me. I'll get the blinds. The voice was unfamiliar to me, but of course it was. It was one of the applicants. What do you mean you'll get the blinds? Sure, thank you. Why is he adjusting the blinds? This isn't his office. What? I don't get it. The applicant drew the blinds close, throwing the room into a cool shade. Despite that, I continued shielding my eyes with the folders until I was properly standing behind my desk. When I was ready, I raised my chin to greet the only two applicants for this secretary position. Good morning, and welcome to Tachi... Ugh. Ugh. What is going on with that guy on the right? Ugh. 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 You guys, okay guys, let's discuss what's going on here. What's going on here? Let's discuss. Let's talk. So why is this man on the right so ugly? Why is he just like limping to this interview? Like, girl, go to the hospital. This is awful. He looks like he's dying. And is this their relative heights? Why is he a manlet? So is this guy actually really tall? And so he's a manlet too. So it's a lot. I failed to complete. I think we already know who we're going for. I failed to complete my sentence as I took notice of Daisuke standing next to the other applicant. Excuse me just a second. I spread the folders out on my desk and opened the ones I hadn't looked at yet. One was a young man, and the other was Daisuke's application. What the hell, Dai? Oh no, Daisuke applied. But he already works for us, I think. I admit, I had lost a bit of composure. Why the hell is my current bodyguard applying for a secretary position? He's got a 5-head? What does 5-head mean? 5-head? What does that mean? But I couldn't let the other candidate know this. I attempted to hide my shock and turned my head instead to greet the new face. You must be Mr. Sode. It's nice to... Maybe I should give him a... Please, call me Ko. He caught me off guard. I didn't expect him to introduce himself as Ko right off the bat. I quickly composed myself. Yes, Mr. Sode, I saw your application. However, this is a professional workplace. I'd much rather address you by your surname. If it makes you more comfortable, then that will be fine. I just don't like my surname that much, is all. Give him a southern twang? Oh my gosh. You're like a little devil. Is that so? I glanced down at his file again. Sode isn't a very common surname, and even the characters used in the kanji are unique. Well, Mr. Sode, my secretary will often be put into uncomfortable situations. What? I hope you can bear with this just today. Just today? What are you saying? Well then, please address me as you like. His smile seemed genuine, but something about his overall aura was intimidating. A drop of sweat trickled down my temple. Thank you, Mr. Sode. The sweat drop had left my cheek and was traveling down my neck now. Okay, great. Just tell us when it reaches your nutsack, why don't you? We'll start the interview process with you. I smiled at Mr. Sode, then shifted my attention to my bodyguard, wiping my neck dry. Mr. Yamamoto. I gritted my teeth, feigning hospitality and politeness as I addressed my bodyguard. If you don't mind, please step out for a moment while I conduct this interview. I'll send for you when I'm ready. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Ooh, but I kinda like that. I like the menu for this game too, it was kinda slick. Oh, okay, well, you asked for Southern twang. You got it. He raised an eyebrow at me before turning to walk out the door. Idiot, at least pretend not to know me. I let out a frustrated sigh and returned my attention to Mr. Sode. Now then, Mr. Sode. Oh wait, this is Sode? I got completely confused, guys. Not going to lie, I was out here thinking that Sode was the one with red hair. I'm probably just not paying attention. But that's literally what I thought. I'm shook. You too? Yeah, me too. Did they ever give us a clear indication of that up until this very moment? You know, now my voices are all wrong because I wanted, well, no, I guess it's fine. I don't know. It's whatever. It's all good in the neighborhood. He was smiling. He was smiling warmly. But I was still a bit tense. What was it about him? I can't believe it. I don't know. Please, have a seat. His attire was nothing to boast about. It was a simple striped button-up with some plain but crisp black slacks. A simple black coat tossed over his broad shoulders. But there really was something about him that was bothering me. Was it the way the shirt clung to his well-formed chest? The way his biceps tugged the fabric as he flexed his arms? I couldn't stop thinking about how much cum I could taste right out of his body, straight from the tap. Or maybe it was the stray hairs falling out of place on his head. Well, whatever it was, I wasn't aware until now, but watching him move caused me to hold my breath, and I was quickly becoming blue. I exhaled forcefully and smoothed my hair back, hoping Mr. Sode hadn't noticed. What's with you today, cumtrap? Pull yourself together and start sucking at his little milk nozzle. Just a few questions for you today. I tapped a stack of papers on the edge of my desk to align them and plucked a pen from my pocket to take some notes. First, tell me a little about yourself. Mr. Sode proceeded to share a bit about himself. He claimed to have once ran a small business, a bar as luck would have it. He even said they stocked some of our products, the plus in my book, and many was familiar with our brand. Okay, I meant to give this guy the southern twang, and I'm just gonna give it to him now, even though I got the voices confused before, so. And might I add that organic alcohol is a great business. You support local farmers by buying their crop, and you keep all the bars in Tokyo stocked with party fuel. His laugh was deep and hearty, something with substance and weight. It was refreshing. Thank you, Mr. Sode. Anything else you wish to tell me about yourself? Yes, with your permission, I'll continue. I nodded, appreciating his politeness, and he continued, saying some things about being a family man, looking out for his brother. Or was it brothers? That small detail escaped me. Nevertheless, this was somewhat good. And then he was caring, which made for a good human being. Not exactly what I'm looking for, but it'll do. My dad, he gave us a life, and I'm doing everything I can to do right by him. Brothers, incest, I thought about it too. But more like brothers, three-way, maybe. I fiddled with my pen. A son working to make his father proud. I could relate to that. That's very admirable, Mr. Sode. Each time I said his name, the look in his eyes sent chills down my spine, but I was still deciding if that was a good thing or a bad thing. Next question. Ooh, what animal would you be? If you were a furry, what would be your persona? Here's a fun one. Do you ever jerk off to to drawn pictures of animals? Yeah, me neither. If you'd be any animal in the world, what animal would you be? Easy. I'd be a dog. Oh? I'm loyal and obedient. I'm here to serve. My paws are up. That's surprising. He seems more like a tiger or a wolf to me from his appearance alone. That's nice. I made a quick note of that. Dogs are a man's best friend, aren't they? They can be a joy to have around too. I hope that's true of yourself, Mr. Sode. He remained unmoved, but still smiling and waiting like a true puppy. I guess he really can be a dog. Alright. How about... Why should I hire you? How many liters of cum can you produce on the daily? Why should you be my secretary? My previous experiences as a small business manager makes me the perfect choice. When you think of furries, you think of Ookie Cookie. He tilted his head towards me. I understand business, man. I understand business. I understand how stressful it can be to manage your time. I'm a simple man, Mr. Tachibana. To put it simply, I like order, and I work well with others. I know how to talk, and I'm organized and disciplined. I can make your life real easy, Mr. Tachibana. All you gotta do is say the word. He certainly seemed very disciplined. We'll see, Mr. Sode. The corner of my mouth curled into a subtle smile. Why? I think he's getting a little stiff in the pants for this guy, and he's ugly. Please name 3 strengths and 3 weaknesses. That's not really a question, more of a request. Yes, well, if you'd have me rephrase it. I've got superb work ethic, I'm responsible, and I've got a strong sense of duty. As he spoke, I took down some notes. As for weaknesses, I can be stubborn enough to work the bone until the job is done. I'm pretty self-critical, but that just means I'm a high achiever and I like to get things done. He was even kind enough to pause so that I could keep pace. And let's see, one more weakness, huh? Mr. Sode was silent for 1 or 2 moments, rubbing his chin contemplatively. Finally, he spoke. I'm big into socializing with my coworkers. I got a soft spot for people and I'm real good at working with them. His accent changed a little, like he let it slip that he wasn't from Tokyo. Was that a Kansai accent? No, it was Southern. Midwest. USA. I wanted to ask him about it, but that would be out of line for this series of questions. HR told me I shouldn't ask about family, politics, religion, or ancestry. Something about legal issues or my intent being constructed. It was beyond me, so I obliged. And speaking of questions, Mr. Sode answered this one very professionally. He certainly knew how to sell himself, even when asked to analyze negative aspects of his character. Those are some great qualities, Mr. Sode. Thank you. Now then. Why this job? So, be honest with yourself. You came here because I'm cum-trap Tachibana. You thought you could feed me all your cum all day, every day, didn't you? That's why you want this job. How did you find out about this job, and why did you apply for it? I found it on an online job board. Go on. I'm looking to expand my resume. This position is perfect since I can learn more about big business, but more importantly, learn how to better apply myself and manage time better too. Learn about big business. That's interesting. I wonder why he'd want to... I see. That's good to hear, Mr. Sode. Now let's see. Where do you see yourself in 5 years, Mr. Sode? Also, where do you see yourself in the next 5 minutes, Mr. Sode? Wink, wink. Working very hard for you and this company, Mr. Tachibana. Well, that's a very bold answer. Any plans for the future? What can I say? I'm a workaholic. I like throwing myself into my work, Mr. Tachibana. And to be frank, I like making money. I just like to support myself and my lifestyle. And I'm looking to be employed at one company for my lifetime. You want to watch Camp Buddy? Girl, you just said the word of the day. Ooh. Honestly, who wouldn't? Money made the world go round, and in this country, working for one company long term is a good thing. It means the employee is committed. A very relatable sentiment. I appreciate your honesty, Mr. Sode. Alright, let's complete this interview. I'll just get down on my hands and knees here, and we can just finish this thing off. I finished jotting down on the last of Mr. Sode's responses, clicking my pen. I placed it in my breast pocket, stood up, and extended a hand to Mr. Sode. Well, Mr. Sode, it was certainly a pleasure to meet you today. Likewise. He bowed and then reached for my hand. His grip was firm and his hand calloused and rough. Surely he was a man who had strong work ethic. I almost grinned. I'll be honest. I plan on filling the position immediately, meaning if chosen you'd start today. Will that be fine with you? Absolutely. Even though I didn't want to express how impressed I was with him and his resume, I couldn't help it. Now I was grinning. Girl, how awful are all the applicants that you've ever received? Ever? Like, that you think this is good? Being my secretary is a big responsibility. You seem to understand it well. Mr. Sode nodded, the smile on his face crooked but cute. Now, if you don't mind, I have one other candidate to interview. If you'd please send him in and wait while I make my decision. He bowed deeply before leaving, and soon Daisuke was waltzing into the room. Care to explain this to me, Daisuke? Hey, this is a formal interview. Don't talk so casually with me. I raised an irritated brow. Anyone in their right mind, let alone someone like me, knew exactly how to take things seriously. Dai cleared his throat and changed his stance to appear more formal. He bowed deeply, the red tufts of his hair brushing the corners of his brow. Please excuse me, I'm here to do the interview. Yeah, it's the cute one, the one that we're gonna have to sexually harass. Silent, I folded my arms, doing my best to suppress my utter annoyance with this situation. Of course, I was a bit curious about his side of the story, so I caved in. I gestured to a seat in front of me. Thank you for your application, Mr. Yamamoto. I just have a few questions for you today. I looked at him squarely in the eye. So mind telling me what in God's name you're doing here? Dai tapped his index finger to his resume, his gaze holding mine firmly. I already told you, I'm here to apply for the job as a secretary. Angry, I gritted my teeth and simultaneously slammed the desk. Explain yourself clearly, Mr. Yamamoto. I don't have time to play games. Whoa, hey, I am serious. Dai let out an exasperated sigh and shifted his eyes to his wrist. Why is he stalling now? I suggest we get right to the interview instead of wasting your precious time. He pointed towards his sleeve. A watch revealed itself as he turned his wrist towards me. You have a meeting after this, don't you? He's right. I completely forgot. Do I get points for remembering the details? Oh, and he does have a gap tooth. He winked as a smug grin spread across his face. Ugh, my head hurts. But if there really are so little applicants, I should at least give this guy a chance to explain himself. I read a manga about a guy that had missing front teeth because it helped him give blowjobs better. Just think of me like the rest of the applicants, and we're good. Relax, Cumtrap. There are two things we can do. Either interview him or not. Making my mind up, I slapped a pen on my desk and brushed back some strands of hair obscuring my vision. Alright, fine, we'll do the interview, but I can't assure you I can't assure you the position, as I'm not doing you any favors. Like taking your dentures out? Yeah, same thing. Same energy. Heh, fine by me. He grinned at me, seemingly satisfied with my decision. Oh, and sir, before we begin... What now? It isn't right to skip questions. I sighed in disbelief. It was a bit annoying that he knew me so well. Very well, let us proceed. Even though I knew what he would share, I asked Dai to talk about himself anyway. Daisuke said he attended Key University and majored in criminology. We were in different departments at the time, but the guy stuck to me like glue since he was practically trained to be my bodyguard. During his free time, he even attended some of my classes. But even before our university days, I knew Dai pretty well from middle school. Let's just say he had a rough childhood. Oh, they're childhood friends. Alright. What are his strengths and weaknesses? How powerful can he suck? Please name 3 strengths and 3 weaknesses. If a colony had lazy ants, what would you do? People think that the driving force of a company are highly motivated, smart, and ambitious individuals, but that's a load of bull. In my case, I am a go-getter. I can push the right buttons whenever there's a company burnout, and be a replacement for those tired, hard-working ants. I'm good at handling coworkers and giving the necessary push to inspire them. You'd also be giving me something to do. You'd be surprised with the results you might get. I work with little resistance, that way we'll both get the job done much faster. Did someone mention Camp Buddy? Oh my god. Those really your strengths? Because that was interesting. Dai's little speech was impressive, but not that impressive. I grinned, continuing the interview. And what about your weaknesses? Dai shrugged, smirking confidently. Heh,
I'm lazy, but I'm not irresponsible. I smoke, but I don't drink. And I may fight dirty, but I work smart. But you know all that already. Sustaining a successful and profitable business requires the right people who will deliver the right results. Dai certainly knew this, and he knew how to do his job well. What was it Dai said earlier? The path to least resistance, huh? Give him a lisp? No. Ugh. Alright, time for the most important question. What should I make your first suit of? If you could be any animal in the world, what would you be? A snake. He answered almost immediately. Oh, why is that? I thrive under pressure, and I'm an excellent problem solver. Besides, there's bound to be a lot of dogs in the workforce by now. Being innovative as a team is the key to a lucrative business. Sorry you're late. What is this game? Girl, what is this game called? I don't know. Hello, boss. It's a demo. I almost scoffed. Interesting. A team that's just following orders isn't going to last long. I may need this innovation. Why this job? Sounded like you said Goro? What? What are you talking about? How did you find out about this job, and why did you apply for it? I'm always going for the path of least resistance. I don't wait for the right time to apply. I just do it. So you just thought it'd be a good idea and just applied. Why? Let's just say I'm doing it for money. I highly doubt that. Why hire you? When I said girl, it sounded like Goro, you know, then I apologize. Why should you be my secretary? Why not? Being hired by you would be the best. It means we've gained some sort of trust, right? Besides, I'm one of those guys that stay loyal even when the going gets tough. The underdog that gets the job done. Hell, I can even take down Goliath with one hell of a swing if you wanted. Daisuke dusted his knuckles and smiled goofily, but I knew he was being serious. Still, it was hard not to laugh, even just a little. That's an amusing connotation. Short-term goals? Where do you see yourself in 5 years, Mr. Yamamoto? Daisuke was silent for a moment. I was afraid I might have pushed a little too far with my playful tone, but I recognized the earnestness in his downcast eyes. I've worked for the Tachibana family my whole life. I can't imagine any other life without you but for the company. He raised his gaze to meet mine, holding me firm with his stare. I'm willing and able to hold down this job, even if no one tells me to do so. Did you want a career change? No, not that I can think of. I can still be your bodyguard, and I think I'm capable of holding down multiple jobs pretty well. Provided it's my skill set, of course. Huh. Now that I think about it, Dai has been working within my family for a long time. But he isn't just someone who works for me. I've always considered him a brother. No matter how I thought about it, Dai had been working for my family for nearly my whole life. To me, however, he wasn't just a regular bodyguard. We practically grew up together like brothers. You just said this. It's like you slightly rephrased what you just said for some reason. What are you thinking, Daisuke? Do you perhaps want to explore other options? Sighing, I clicked my pen as I completed the last sentence in my notes. Alpha Prison Hole scene PogChamp? Why are you taking Twitch emotes in here? But yeah, Alpha Prison Hole is great. That's true. No, I think I have a pretty good understanding of what the job entails. You know I can handle it with ease. I just hope to have the opportunity to work with you and for you in this company. We shook hands, the sunlight window casting our shadows on the floor and letting in a cool breeze. With that, the interview ended. That was interesting. I closed Dai's folder and leaned forward, resting my elbows on my desk. Thank you very much for your time today, Mr. Yamamoto.
Why is he getting pissed off?
Yeah, I get it, Taichi. You can drop the act now. Dai waved his hand and stared blankly at the south corner of my office. I didn't completely understand his reasons, but I knew I could trust Daisuke's motivations and guts. Dai, as you know, I'm in the middle of closing a very big business deal, and I need this position filled as soon as possible. I don't have time to manage my own schedule, so I'll be choosing a secretary today. Daisuke shifted in his seat and leaned forward, staring me square in the eyes. Yeah, okay, I get it. But if you're really gonna follow through with the Hamada deal, you should pick someone who already knows about it in your other situations. So in other words, you. His expression remained unchanged. Thanks for your concern, Daisuke. But with that and the media hounding us about embezzlements, the embezzlement case, I think I'll definitely need a full-time bodyguard.
What? So are we a filthy 1%er? Of course we are. We're a CEO. Oh my god, we're embezzling? Oh lord. Oh, eat the rich. Oh lord. Eat the rich.
Fine, then just think about it, Taichi.
We're bourgeoisie, yes. Very much so.
He immediately stood up to join Mr. Sode, leaving me with my thoughts. This is so annoying. I just need someone to organize my life right now. I can't deal with the media, the Hamada deal, the new product, and my own schedule. My eyes fell on stacks of documents cluttering my office. I haven't even had the chance to organize all those files yet. Sighing, I shifted my focus back on the other applicants' folders.
Daisuke?
This idiot, he's already my bodyguard, but he applied for this position. But I know Daisuke well enough to confirm his loyalty and work ethic, plus he's already familiar with me, the company, and the business deal. Also, he's the only hot one. Is he the perfect candidate for this position? He's the perfect candidate to take my nut. In the end, it was for the best that I had chosen Dai. You're hungry? Can you eat my ass? Girl, my ass isn't clean. You don't want any. I got so caught up in the moment of advising my team that I hadn't realized Dai was gone. You just ate some chicken nuggies? Yum. Were they dino nuggies? I turned my wrist to view the time on my watch. He must be at a special place right about now. What does that mean? Is he jerking off in the bathroom? Taking the applicant's files with me, I removed myself from my office and ventured off to find Dai.
Oh no, that was it. I thought it was longer than that. But they're working hard on the full game, guys. Trust them. Follow their progress on Twitter, I guess. There's also supposed to be a third person we can date. But, like, not in the demo. Maybe the art will get better? Do you think the art was bad? I mean, the character designs were good. I mean, 2 of them were good. You know?